Hey everybody, this is Michelle at michellesizemore.com. I'm a Creative Memories Advisor, and today you'll learn how to make this Thanksgiving page using our new Grateful Harvest collection for 2025. It's our fall collection that we have. We have two collections actually. There's a Croptoberfest collection and this one. So this is the one we're going to use for this. I love this collection of paper and this color combination. It's just so pretty. Okay, so let's get started. This is everything that I used. I used this paper, which is our Tone on Tone Grateful Harvest. I used this gold right here. And then I used this paper, which is our designer paper for Grateful Harvest. They go together. I used this pretty leaf paper and this orange paper. Okay, so that's what I used there, and I'll show you the papers. This is the gold, and this is the orange, and this is the leaf paper that's my background. Beautiful papers. I also used brown sticker letters. I just gathered a bunch of them, and I used our white write-on stickers. Okay. And I also used a brown Creative Memories pen. Okay, so one more look at this before I get started. The first thing I want to do is mount all of my papers and cut them. I do realize that I need to grab a piece of brown cardstock, so I'll be right back. Okay, this color is called Hot Fudge. I need to cut it to 10 1/4 inches by 10 1/4 inches. Here's my Creative Memories trimmer. I'm going to open my arm and make sure my little foot is flipped out. Now I have a nice level surface. I'm going to put my cardstock in here and line it up at the 10 1/4 inch mark, which is right here. Here's the 10. Here's the 4th. The lines are great, very easy to see. Make sure it's straight all the way at the top and cut with my straight blade. I'll save this to do a border or something, and then flip it one way to the left and line it up at the same spot, 10 1/4 inches, and cut, and then save this for another page. Now I want to take my orange paper and cut it to 10 by 10. So I'm going to line it up at the 10 inch mark. Make sure it's straight all the way at the top. Cut. Save this for another page. Will be perfect for a border. Line this up at the 10 inch mark. Make sure it's straight all the way at the top and cut. Okay. Again, save that for another layout. Now I want to mount my orange on top of my brown to create the look of a mat. I like the look of a skinny mat, so I always, or not always, but usually will cut what I want the mat to be 1/4 inch bigger than the paper that's on top of it. So I'm going to flip this over and just add some repositionable tape runner. Do about 4 or 5 little dabs on every edge. You don't need a lot, just little dabs of it. And then add some random dabs in the middle. And then just eyeball this to where it looks about the same all the way around to create the look of a skinny mat. And then rub it to make it stick. I'm really good with that. And then I just need to add that on top of here. This is my beautiful leaf paper. Now I want to tell you, I'm not going to do this today just to keep the video quick, but you can gut out the middle of this and then save a whole square of this paper to use on something else. I have other videos on my YouTube channel where I've done that, and it's a good way to save paper because you're just going to cover up a lot of it if you don't do that. So I'm going to put, I am going to cover it up today, but I do encourage you to go watch that on another YouTube video. So I'm going to put about the same amount of tape runners I did before. And then I just want to get this centered the way I like it. Make sure it's straight and rub it to make it stick down. So that's the main part of the background. And then I want to cut a circle here out of this gold, and it's going to be this size, and I've already established that what size I want, and I'm going to use my custom cutting system, and I want the size of this red line right here. So I've numbered my templates just to make it easier to teach. So this middle one is number 2, which matches up with this number 2. This is my template. This is my guide. My template will match up with the black lines on the outside and inside. The black just means the size of the template. When you see the red line, the green dotted line, and the blue line, that is just telling you which blade color to use, because we have red, green, and blue blades. They're offset from each other. And you can go on the inside. This is a track right here. You can go inside. This is a track right here, or you can go on the outside. So we're going to go on the outside track with the red blade because I want the size of that red line right there. Here's my gold paper. I want to save as much paper as I can. So I'm going to get as close to the one I've already cut out as I can and make sure there's plenty of room all around to cut. And I'm going to put these 2 red notches inside this track. I want the blade going right here. So it's going to face this way because the blade is going to be here. The notches are there. They both have to fit in the track. If they don't both fit in, it's not going to work. So they're both in there. I'm going to hold real firm with my left hand, and I'm going to go around with my right because I'm right-handed, and I want to make sure that this template does not move. I'm holding it very firm. Now I'm going to reposition my hand so I can go all the way around. Again, holding firm so it doesn't move, and I feel like I got a good cut. Now I'm going to wiggle this. Yeah, if you wiggle it, it means it's cut all the way around. If it doesn't wiggle, maybe you missed a spot and you can always go back around. Just make sure you haven't moved this template before you try to go back around. Okay, so now I have my, I would call that like a harvest moon. And that would go here. I'm not going to mount it down yet. I'm going to do my sticker letters first. I'm going to try something new here. I meant to try it before the video, but I didn't. To keep my sticker letters straight, first of all, this is going to be on my table so I don't get sticky stuff on my table. It's just a very, it repels the repositionable tape runner, and I love it. So I'm going to use the edge of my guide here, and I'm going to spell out the word thanks because I'm trying to get this look right here. So let's spell out thanks on the very top of here. We have something called a Titletopia that we actually used to have. I thought I had it handy, but I don't. But it was made out of similar plastic, and it had measurements on it, and it was designed to help keep your sticker letters straight. This doesn't have measurements, but I don't really need them for this. So I'm going to try this, and I think it's going to work. If it doesn't, well, we'll learn together. So I'm going to spell out the word thanks, and I'm just barely using the top of this to put the bottom of my sticker letter. And I want a capital T and then lowercase the rest of my letters. Okay, and I did just find my Titletopia. This is what it looks like. It has measurements. It has a center point, but the plastic feels like the same plastic as my template guide. I'm just going to show you on here because we can't buy this anymore. So if you ever see this come back, I would very much encourage you to grab one because this is wonderful. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to use a lowercase h. And again, I'm just using the top as a guide and barely sticking it on there. Now here's an example, like I pulled off my A and that little centerpiece is stuck in there. I'm going to grab my multi-purpose tool and poke that out. Some people call this the pokey tool. So I can actually save that because it makes like cute little eyeballs. So I'm gonna save that over here. And now I'm gonna mount my A down and grab a lowercase n. A lowercase k. I'm only going to spell out the word thanks. We're not going to do giving because I think once you learn how to do this, you'll know how to do the rest. So, okay. So, we'll make sure those are all stuck on that. And I'm going to pull this up very carefully. Oops, I did mess it up a little, so I'm going to fix it. Okay. My goodness. Okay. There we go. So now I'm going to grab this and I'm just going to look at it and place this where I want it to where it looks centered. If you want to be super picky, you could draw a pencil line with your center point and all that, but I just want it to look like I want it to look. So I'm going to shoot for getting that in the center, like horizontally. I'm still going to leave room down here to write the word giving. Okay, so I'm going to put this down. Now I want to stick my sticker letters down and press them pretty hard at the top, but don't press too hard right here. I need to straighten up that S a little bit. Okay, I think this is going to work. So these are stuck down at the top. Now I'm going to very gently pull this out from underneath. Yeah, it worked. Okay, and then I'm going to start pressing down the bottoms, and I may need to reposition them just a tad, but overall it did help me keep things pretty straight. I do want to fix that. I kind of bent that, so I'm going to grab another T. Okay. Whoopsie. Goodness, come over here. Okay. All right. So there we go. So that's the benefit of using the edge of this, just very similar to the way I would have used the Titletopia. And then I would do it again with the word giving, all lowercase. And I just realized I think this is two different kinds of sticker letters combined. That T is bolder, but it's fine. You're just learning. So these are skinnier letters. And then I would do the same thing with giving and just position it where I want it to go and stick those down. And then I've got that, and then basically I'm done. So I would add this here. I'm not going to mount it yet, but then I would add my photos. This shows you the measurements for my photos. Okay. Then I would add these write-on stickers. I love these. It comes out like that. And then you can just cut it. Like I would cut it 5 inches long to go right under my photo. I would mount those down and rub them and stick them down and then write on them with the black Creative Memories fine tip pen. And then I have my pretty page. Pretty easy page to make, and I like the look of it. I love the colors of this collection. I just think they're absolutely beautiful. But you could do this with any collection. You could do Christmas colors, birthday page, whatever. And you know, the circle on here kind of does make me think of a harvest moon just because it's fall, but you could just have a circle here and you could add happy birthday, and you could even like put some like birthday presents or some confetti or something and jazz it up a little bit. I felt like this has enough going on where I didn't really want to add stickers. I really like this bold paper. It's very colorful. You know, I could add a little something right here, or move this down a little even. But overall, I like it. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you guys have a great fall and a wonderful day. Bye.